And hello, everyone. Welcome to this mini training on the 5 things you need for a profitable and blissful mom coaching business. I created the workbook for you. So I'm going to go ahead and just open that, and you can play along and enjoy the training. So, here are the 5 things. So I mentioned in the workbook, you might want to watch this video training because a lot of the prompts are going to be like, what is she talking about? A little bit about me. I have been a mom coach myself for the past 10 years. And I'm really into birthing analogies. I feel like everything now in life is like giving birth. Anything that takes some effort, that takes creativity, that takes patience, that takes trusting in the miracle that is our existence at this time in the world's history is also magical. So you're going to read some of these prompts and it's going to be like, especially when we come to thing number 3. So I hope you're okay with birthing metaphors. I'm not going to get too squeamish, but a lot in here is going to be helpful if you're watching this. I'm glad you are. So the first thing you need as a mom coach is a profitable mom coach is to get a profitable mindset. So all the things I'm going to talk about, like everything in business, like everything in life, it's all separate, but they all interconnect with each other. So your profitable mindset is going to be a result of the other things you need to make this really lucrative business venture for yourself, life calling, etc. But it's also going to be the precursor. So they all kind of come together. So regardless if you're just starting out in your mom coaching biz, or you've just gone through some certification program, or you've been at this for a while and you're just feeling like stuck in a rut, just celebrate the fact that there is something that inspired you to consider becoming a coach for moms. So I just want to assure you that there are going to be moments, because this is also a personal development boot camp, when you're going to be like, who am I to be coaching anyway? Just trust there is there's a reason. You didn't do this willy-nilly. So we're going to get into this later, but let's just begin with, you have the potential to really embrace the mindset needed to make a real go at this. Just like everything else in coaching is just about reminding yourself to go back to that positive, profitable, and really strong mindset, because you'll see all the other things we need to stay strong, because this isn't just a sprint. This is a marathon that we're running here. And I've been running this, like I said, for a decade now. And you don't tire out if you just trust that there is a reason that you're doing this in the first place. So again, speaking of reminders, think about something you experience every day, or that happens on a regular basis, but kind of sporadically, that can remind you of the abundance around us. Because a lot of our self-talk, when it comes to showing up as a coach, especially in the online world, our brain is going to try to talk us to back away from this endeavor by having these little like negative Nelly chit chats, such as, oh my God, look around, look at all these other coaches out there that are rocking it. You're not as cool as they. Or, oh my God, look at all the mom coaches out there in the world. Why are you going to do something that's so saturated? You know the talk, right? So consider ways to remind yourself that, oh, flip that around. Well, yeah, I am pretty cool to certain people, and that's all who I care about, right? I watch The Bachelor and I listen to this podcast about bachelors, and yeah, they were talking about, they're trying to show like what a dork this bachelor is. And they were talking about you can't fake being a dork, and it's actually an attractive quality. So just shine the light on your true dorky self and trust that you're going to be attractive to the right potential client there. The abundance will follow you if you just surrender to the fact that there is plenty for everyone to build a profitable coaching business. So the thing in light that reminds me, there's a couple of things I want to offer as suggestions. If I'm walking on the street or in the forest or wherever I go for my daily walk, if there is a gust of wind, I just stick my arms out like this, close my eyes, and like, ooh, this is reminding me of the abundance coming at me. So that's a little bit woo-woo, but it's just a habit I started embracing when I consciously decided to pick up reminders of abundance. Another one that, again, it's such a habit for me now. When I go shopping, paying for groceries or anything else, I shove my debit card into the machine, beep, boop, boop, bop, put in my PIN number. I'm not going to share that. I take a moment and I take a deep breath. And then when I take that deep breath in, I'm like, ooh, look at all the abundance. That, like, how blessed am I can pay for these like new socks. Spend a lot on socks for some reason, or groceries, or like whatever I'm treating myself to. So it's like, oh my gosh, like how blessed am I? Take a deep breath and exhale. Usually it says approved. Just kidding. So whatever little reminders in the day, right? At the end of the day, I even have this cream that it costs a pretty penny, but I only use just a little dab, goes a long way, and it smells like roses because that it's basically made up of. And I'm just like, oh my God, breathe that abundance in. Like, how blessed are we? Okay, so there's some space for you to remind yourself. And now we come to the mission statement as a coach. As we began, is what was that catalyst for you to explore this path, or you are exploring this journey? And get really clear in who are you helping? What happened in your own mothering journey? They're like, I want to help moms, because this is typically how it rolls, just a couple of steps behind me on this path. What is it? And what results are you feeling really compelled to hold her hand to? I share a lot in my training material how it's basically 3 results you can choose from. You can help a client to more money, to better health, or to stronger relationships. So get really clear on those 3 classic reasons people are ready to exchange money for a service, and then start sitting with what those situations look like for her. Now, consider like she gets to this result, how is this impacting her life? Just think about all of those ripple effects. So if you're helping her to create stronger resiliency health-wise, think of how this is going to impact her kids. They're going to have a mom in the home that is open to playing board games after all the dishes are done at night, or to going to the park and actually play Frisbee with them. And then considering that she has more energy, how is this going to impact the world at large? I always like to think that they have energy. Well, now they could, write that book. She can like stay up a little later now. She's got the energy to stay up and write a couple of chapters of the book she's dreaming of, and how that's going to impact other people, or to volunteer and serve her community in a capacity that is really passionate for her. And then her kids are watching. So just thinking about all those ripple effects. Okay. So that's the mindset. It's like, no, we're doing important work here. There's plenty of business around for all the mom coaches. And this is who I'm helping. This is the mission I'm on. And it's very important. The thing that you also need is an intentional offer suite. So this past beginning of the year, so I'm recording this just at the start of 2023, all of last year I just gone through a deep journey of the soul. I got really deep into energetics and got into human design. And I came out, it's like another rebirth. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to change some things in my business. One thing I'm really excited about is expanding my offer suite. I'm going to help my clients do more of this. So intentional offer suite, because we're still thinking with that mindset of we're on a mission. and get intentional, like thinking of that one client, that struggle that you're helping that gets them to that result. What are those phases of that struggle? Okay. Like, as an example, we can think about my mission. I help mom coaches create a profitable, dreamy coaching business, right? And the result is so that they can make money from home. So many like different ripple effects to that result, right? So what are the 3 phases of my client's journey? So at the very beginning, they're just thinking about becoming a coach. They don't feel confident with their skill set, or they don't even know how to get started. Phase 2 is like, okay, now I know how to coach, but I'm still not knowing how to set up my business to start getting clients in a way that feels good. And phase 3 is they got all that set up. They just need support again with the mindset for expanding, scaling their business perhaps. So it's just like this beginner, intermediate, and advanced, if you want to look at it that way. Now, how can you serve your audience in different price points? So this is a new thing for me. So you might have noticed I'm doing this more, and this is where Mom Coach Club comes in. I wanted an entry level way to access me in a way that costs way less than $97, like way less. But I've also had price points for people just entering for 97. So somewhere between $5 and 97, and then looking at those phases and marrying it with maybe with beginner or maybe not, but usually like the beginner phase, just coming in with ideas of different price points, mix and matching with the beginner. So people coming into my world at the very beginning can enter Mom Coach School, which is actually at this middle tier. Less than $97 is giving people a taste of me. So coming into Mom Coach Club, which is a monthly membership, that's for them to experience. This is the sort of thing I'm an expert at. Again, intentionally chosen to become an expert because I've meditated on what my mission is as a coach. And then the higher end offer suite is when they had the most access. So this is looking like your private mentoring / coaching packages, and they can start from 1,000 up to 5 figures. Thing 3 is a simple sales funnel. So this is the one I warned you about if you're squeamish, but I like using the uterus analogy just because a funnel is shaped kind of like a uterus. It dawned on me. I was doing one of these trainings. I was talking about a sales funnel. I'm like, oh, this is like a uterus. So the ovaries are up here. I'm wiggling my fingers. This is what's beckoning forward. See, this is why I say you have to watch the training to get this one. You're, see, again, I'm not a doctor. I am not anyone who knows anything about anatomy. That's my husband. He loves books on anatomy. They kind of like weird me out, but I am intrigued by the whole miracle of birth. So the ovaries, right? This is your creative centers where you're creating the potential for new life. This is, I always think about the follicles and they're like waving things towards it. I don't know what. So think about how you're like waving your ideal client to you. So an example is like this training, right? Speaking to my ideal client, 5 things you need for a profitable mom coaching biz. I'm like, come on, check this out. And then I left extra room here for the middle part of the sale uterus. This is where your ideal client may potentially sit here for 9 months. If it's an elephant's uterus, it might be longer. Sometimes it's quicker, but you're nurturing. So once your audience enter your world through the sales uterus, you feed them with free trainings. You're showing them what your voice sounds like, what your face looks like, what your teaching style, what you value, what your beliefs are, what your whole shtick is. And that's when that chemistry happens. And then finally, this is how you birth a new client. You sell every day to your audience. You let them know, hey, just a reminder, this is related to what I'm talking about in this week's content. Or, hey, by the way, have you signed up for this free training I'm offering? Because it's related to what I work with my clients privately. Oh, you want to be a private client? Here's where you go to check that out. So you're always selling. Hey, if you like this, you're going to love joining my e-course on yada yada. Okay, so you have to get comfortable with your simple sales funnel, continuously feeding it, but continuously also selling at the very end of it. Fourth thing is your tenacity. Again, this isn't a sprint. You got to have the marathon training. So how can you build stamina? Here I offer this basically, how can you take care of your greatest instrument? And that is you. So I began actually teaching and coaching. I called it Mama Bliss coaching. Number one is self-care. So think about, how can I really feed my self-care, whether it be I need more sleep, I need to focus on movement this season. Pick something just for the next 3 months that you can go all in on until it becomes a habit. One season I chose sleep, and I went all in on getting the best bed, in getting blackout curtains, and really prioritizing an earlier bedtime until it just became a habit. So you can choose, perhaps one season, I'm going to drink more water. It's not that everything else falls to the wayside. You've just chosen something for 3 months and you're going all in on. And also make sure that you're feeding what makes you you. So looking at a passion, picking up a hobby outside of your business. If you've been following me for a while, I discovered pickleball this past spring, almost a year now. And I find it's been such a great balance for me to just turn off my mind about business, because I love this work so much. It's hard for me to shut it off. But just to be inspired, to get movement, and to come back, recharge, and of course, ready with more metaphors other than reproductive organs. Here I said, to build tenacity, what does success love? Success loves speed. So I put this in because I feel we can waste a lot of precious energy, right? We're running a marathon. We have to learn how to budget our energy in making decisions. So you got to get snappy with your decision making. And what I found really helpful for this, I just did a Instagram post on this, is to remember, being decisive is sexy. So I don't know, it's just an attractive quality. So, and it's also a muscle that you got to build. So just decide that you're going to be decisive and catch yourself when you're flip-flopping, and just have whatever mantra at the ready of, just choose something, right? For me, is success loves speed. And this is a takeaway from when I used to mountain bike, because I noticed going downhill, or uphill even, but if it's tricky, like single track terrain, if I was all like, not committing, that's when I would fall over and hurt myself. So commit, trust your gut. And finally, decision making, what helped too is learning about my human design. So consider reaching out to me on how I can help you with the chart read, if that's something you're interested in, because it's helped a lot with my decision making. Be at the ready again. So to tenacity piece, we have to teach your brain that this is worth it. There is growth happening here. And ways that you can do this is to get ready with celebrating some milestones in your business. So when you reach your first $1,000 month, creating your first client, your first paying client, doing your first workshop, hitting your first 5K month, 10K, 20K, 100K month. So get these all at the ready. And there's some space here for you on coming up with ideas on how you're going to celebrate such things. So keeping a bottle of champagne in the fridge, or some kind of sparkling cider, or I'm going to buy a plant for each new client I get. I did this for a while until they slowly started dying. So I'm not very good at house plants. So choose some celebrations and have them at the ready, and celebrate all the big and small things. Very important. And number 5, see, I keep saying these are all very important. They're all equally important, but it just feel compelled to say this is the most important. Confidence is so important. So I wanted to share a quick coaching tool I call 3 quick questions, and it's generally a prompt, is to check in with, okay, what is worthy of celebrating? Going back to that last prompt, What are you struggling with now after we set the tone of like some things are working, whatever's not working, how can we fix it? Let's fix it by thinking about what has worked in our past. So this is similar to when we come up with the whole mission statement of why we're called to coaching. Often it's because we've overcome something or we have gone through an experience where we're like, whoa, my brain is different now. And now I have some insight into some aspect of life's journey. So considering your coaching business, there's some space for you to celebrate something, even if it's just watching this training right now. You took the time to check this out or something else. And then which one of these 5 things do you need to shine the light and get working on that you're kind of struggling with? Now think about what was something you've done in the past to overcome a similar struggle. So start getting resourceful here. So you might think, oh, in the past, I went to Udemy and took a course on, such a thing, or I joined a mastermind, or I hired a coach, or I went on an Airbnb retreat by myself and just took a pile of books from the library on the topic and just went all in. So think about what helped you in the past and how can you apply this today so they can get a thing you might be lacking in creating a profitable mom coach business. All right. And there you go. And that's me. Of course, you're welcome to reach out to me if you want to learn how I can support you through any one of these things, either through my coaching training program, Mom Coach School, but all of this is going to be covered in Mom Coach Club. If you're watching this in the future, it's open and there's a place you can go here to join us, or go to momcoachclub.com. And if it isn't open yet, you're joining the waiting list and you'll be the first to know when it is open and get in on some founder member type dealios. So make sure you join us or join the waiting list. And I cannot wait to see you inside. Bye.